What happens when there's a change or termination in employment after you have submitted a transfer of underlying basis request on your I-45 application? My name is Brian Burke from Sam Shihab and Associates.
And I'm Sam Shihab. And before we get into the topic, there's important two concepts that we must explain very briefly. We're going to be talking about an I-485 portability, and we're going to talk about transfer of underlying basis. These are two separate concepts. An I-485 portability is when the I-485, the adjustment of status application, has been pending for 180 days or more. This allows you, under certain circumstances, to move this application to a new employer, same or similar job, and file a supplement J and move your green card to a new employer, and you move on. A transfer underlying basis, or a TUB, otherwise known as interfiling, is a different concept. It's a substitution of an I-140 with another I-140, let's say EB2 to an EB3, etc., when the priority date is current for the new I-140 classification. For example, EB2 priority date. And these are distinct concepts, and we're going to be talking about them, Brian.
Yes, we're going to be talking about them, Sam, in chart form, because we have a lovely chart that's going to sort of explain, the scenarios we're dealing with and what they mean to people. So, I'm going to start on the left here, and the scenario is an approved I-140 scenario. So this is when the TUB request was made less than 180 days ago to move to an approved I-140, and then during that 180-day period, less than 180 days, employment has been changed or terminated. In this scenario, portability is not going to be allowed because the challenge of a TUB request is that it resets the 180-day time frame for I-45 portability per USCIS policy. However, TUB will be allowed in this scenario before the employer withdraws the I-140 because TUB is allowed at any time.
So you can transfer I-140 to another I-140 if the priority date is current for the transfer underlying basis, but you cannot take that adjustment status and move to a same or similar job classification.
Correct, yes.
That's in the scenario less than 180 days. And then there's an employment termination.
Yeah.
In my scenario, Brian, I'm going to talk about if the transfer underlying basis occurred more than 180 days to an approved I-140. This is the ideal scenario. This is like the perfect scenario because really you can port your I-485 to a new employer who is same or similar by filing supplement J. Also, you have the ability to transfer your underlying basis to another I-140 if you find a scenario in which a transfer of underlying basis is favorable under certain circumstances.
Because you can always TUB. Yeah.
Yes. So this is a good scenario that we have.
Yeah.
Now, pending I-140s.
Yeah, pending I-140s, the terminology is the same, but the scenario is a little bit different, and conveniently, we have another set of charts for that.
Nice.
I'm going to start again on the left. So here we are, pending I-140 scenarios. On the left here, when the TUB request was made less than 180 days ago to a pending I-140, and then the employment has been changed or terminated. So again, portability will not be allowed because by submitting that TUB, you've restarted the 180-day time frame for portability requests, not allowed within 180 days of TUB. But TUB will be allowed to a different I-140 so long as the priority date for that new I-140 is current.
Nice. Now, in the scenario that there is a transfer of underlying basis or interfiling made more than 180 days, or 180 days or more, as a matter of fact, and there is a pending I-140, this is a scenario in which you could use portability, but it is risky, and we have a separate video. There's a link to it in the description that you can go to because it's expanded there.
Yeah.
And always transfer underlying basis if you find another I-140 that you can transfer to is allowed provided the I-140 priority date is current. So, I mean, these are the scenarios. Now, this does not cover everything, Brian, and there's some difficult questions that we are faced with when we're dealing with a transfer underlying basis and termination of employment.
Yeah.
And the big one is, can I withdraw my transfer of underlying basis because maybe I'm put in a better position?
Move yourself to a category, back to a category where you have your priority date suddenly better, or that's a possible scenario. And can you withdraw a TUB request? And USCIS policy is not 100% clear on this. It seems reasonably clear that if your TUB request is pending, you can withdraw that request. If approved, it's a little bit more ambiguous the way their policy reads. But that brings up the inevitable question: how do you know your TUB request is approved?
Yes, and so we get into a situation where it's a little bit not clear.
Yeah.
But overall, we feel that you should be able to do it.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, we think you should, but I think that's potentially a very interesting fight with USCIS over it, should they ever challenge you on the issue, for sure.
So this is an area where you really need to seek counsel to help you with your specific scenario, because obviously we cannot cover every scenario in our short video. Hopefully this is, guys, helpful for you guys. Have a great day.